Good morning, Sylvia. Here's the machine, the Breville Oracle, or I should say the Sage Oracle, BES980. This is a used machine. I've just finished doing the service on it. So because it's used, it does have scratches and dents as you would expect from a used machine. So mainly around the front actually and around here. But really it's in good condition. I would say I would give it a 7 out of 10. And it's now ready to go. I'm gonna make a latte in this video, or maybe a cappuccino actually. So when you first turn it on, the machine will take about 5 to 10 minutes to turn on. If you want to have a very hot cup of coffee, maybe wait another 10 minutes. So if you wait a bit more, you can have the top lid warm up, so you can store your cups over here, and they'll get nice and warm. You also want to wait for the group head and the portafilter to get nice and hot. So you can wait 10 or 20 minutes for that to happen. But if you're in a hurry, you can still warm it up, no problem. And that just requires a blank shot. So just running some hot water through the machine into the cup just to get things nice and hot. So I'm going to do that with the single. You can do this once or twice, it's up to you. It doesn't hurt to do it twice. Just wait for it to stop heating. There we go. That should be enough. So I'm going to put the cup on the side to stay nice and warm for the time being. I'm going to now take the portafilter out. Make sure you dry the portafilter before grinding. It's important to have a dry portafilter because the machine is picky. You have to use the original basket, and you have to have it dry because of the automatic tamper in the distributor. So I'll use my scale to measure how much coffee this machine gives me. Usually they're about 18 to 22 grams. You can adjust that dose if you get an Allen key and play with the settings, but it should be good from factory. So I'm going to use the scale to measure what goes in to the portafilter and what comes out. So the input, so ground coffee, and the output when I'm making the coffee. Grind size is at number 18 now. I think it's in the right range at 18. But I'm not exactly sure. The only way to be sure is to make a coffee and see if it's too quick or too slow. But yeah, it's definitely in the right espresso zone at number 18. That's it. So a nicely tamped surface. There will be some loose coffee, so just flip it upside down to get rid of those. Clean the edge and take a look at that. It's nicely tamped. It's nice and even. Let's take a look at how many grams that was. That was 21 grams, so very good. That's going to give us a strong espresso. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, 21. Perfect. I will say that I've changed the group head recently, so it's nice and fresh. You don't have to change it anytime soon. The group rubber head seal. And regarding the portafilter, it is taped, so I think there was a small crack, but it's not falling off obviously, so it's still nice and tight in there. But I've just put some tape to make it look nicer. So when you lock it in, just lock it in as tight as necessary. Don't over tighten it, especially with the group head seal being relatively new. So it's at 6 o'clock dead center. That's more than tight enough. And just demonstrating that the handle won't come off even though it's taped. There's also glue in there, so it's pretty tight. Okay, I'm gonna empty my cup. I also will show you the hot water tap. So you have a hot water tap if you want to make a long black coffee, or tea bags or whatever. I personally use it to add a little bit of hot water to my cup before the coffee is to dissolve any sugar I add. Or you can use this hot water tap to warm up your cups if you want. It's up to you. Should be more than enough. So this is a dual boiler, obviously, so you could be doing two things at once. Well, for the sake of the video, I'm going to be doing one at a time, just so that we can focus. And I'll start with the espresso. So I've added my sugar, my cup is nice and warm now. I'll just use my scale, like I said, to see how much coffee we get. So because we put in 21 grams, we want to double that. So we want to get about 42 grams of liquid espresso. That's the basic ratio that I use, or the basic recipe, 2:1 ratio. So for every gram of ground coffee that I get, I want to get 2 grams of liquid coffee. Hopefully that happens within 30 seconds. I'll make the coffee and I'll see how quick it is. If I notice that by the end of the 30 seconds for the double shot, this double shot goes for 30 seconds. If I notice that it's more than 42, or let's say more than 50 grams, then that's too quick, and the next thing will be to slow it down by making this finer. But also, if on the other hand, if I press the shot button and it goes for 30 seconds, and I get less than, say, 35 grams of coffee into my cup, then I'm going to make this coarser, because 35 is too little for a double shot on this machine. But look, it doesn't have to be exactly on the dot with regards to the numbers. It just has to taste good. So whatever settings you have that makes the coffee taste good, I would stick to those. Let's not get too caught in the numbers, but it's important to have a guide and sort of know what to aim for. And I'm aiming for 42 grams. Yeah, my cup is 0. So double. Pay attention to the flow of the coffee. You want it to be nice and smooth and sort of symmetrical on both sides. That looks beautiful. I think we're on track to getting 42 grams. It's nice and smooth. We have some good primer. Very nice. So obviously the machine will stop on its own at 30 seconds. You can change that. You can change the single and double cups to your liking. We got 47, so it's on the quick side. Not too bad, still a good coffee, but 47 is definitely more than 42. So this is closer to a 2.5:1 ratio. But that's okay. We'll go with that. If you want, keep these settings. The speed will depend on what bean you're using. So if you're using fresher beans or more expensive beans from the roaster, you'll definitely be okay to use these settings. Different beans will have different speeds, so see how you go with number 18. If it's also too quick, or if you get more than 50 grams, if you have a scale. If you don't have a scale, that's fine. You can just eye level, and you can kind of know that this is about 47 or 50. So if you get more than that at setting 18, maybe make it finer, let's say 16, 15. And if you get less than that, make it coarser, so maybe 20, 22. And also know that the grind size adjustment is continuous, it's not clicked, it's not stepped. So you can, let's for example say number 18 is too quick, number 18 is too slow, and number 19 is too quick. You can go halfway because it's a continuous. You don't have to stick to the numbers, it's easy to adjust. And also only change the grind size with the grinder grinding, otherwise you might damage the mechanism. So I would empty the portafilter, lock the handle in here, start grinding, and only when it's grinding I would change this to prevent any damage to the grinder. So let's not let the espresso sit for too long. With regards to the milk, make sure you get a metal jug. So I'm using my own jug here in the video. This machine unfortunately doesn't come with a milk jug at this price point. I like to purge the wand before I start, so just to get rid of any water, just turn it on by pressing it up or down, doesn't matter. Up is for manual, so to steam your milk like a barista, but if you push it down, it'll use the settings for automatic. So at the moment it's at 60 degrees Celsius, and it's at the maximum froth setting, so the cappuccino froth. And to steam, just press it down. So I've filled my jug about halfway, with cold milk. It's important to have cold milk because that'll help you with texturing, and also to have it to the right level, because if it's too low, it won't reach. I'm going to clean the machine for the meantime. Give it a rinse. Yeah, so the grip head is nice and clean now, and the milk is done. So just be careful with the milk. When you take it out, you want to wipe the wand straight away. So it obviously gets really hot in there. And when you push it down, it'll clean. It auto cleans when you're done with the steaming and when you push it down. So it will make a bit of a mess sometimes, so just give it a wipe. Now it's auto filling the boiler. It will detect when you steam and it will fill the boiler accordingly so that it doesn't obviously damage the machine. Yeah, so that's the espresso. And the milk done. It's time to make it into a latte. Or a cappuccino, really. So I'm gonna knock down the jug to break any air bubbles. Swirl it around just to kind of mix it up. And then pour. And done. Doesn't hurt to give it a wipe. A flush. And make sure you keep the front area nice and dry. And that's all you need to do to make a coffee and clean your machine. Here's the final product, the nicely textured cappuccino. If you use the machine on, I think on manual mode, you can actually do latte art pretty confidently. So I'm sure you'll enjoy the machine. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.